Hey YouTube viewers, welcome to Right Now, episode 26 with Tristin Robinson. Tristin, so excited to have you on the podcast today, and I have one question for you as we begin just for our YouTube viewers. What is your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show? Oh, I don't really watch a lot of TV.
Well, if you were going to pick up the remotes, turn to Disney Plus, turn to Netflix, turn to whatever channel, I guess, what would you turn to?
Well, I just watched Hannah Montana, so probably Hannah Montana.
So, like the full series, the Hannah Montana series?
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
so is it something you watched as a younger girl, or is this just something?
Yes, definitely. It's like a comfort series. Like, you always know you can enjoy it whenever you go back and watch it.
So can't go wrong with Hannah Montana. Yeah. You've heard it first. Maybe you should check out Hannah Montana after checking out today's podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 26 of Right Now, our student ministry podcast here at Ridgecrest Baptist Church, and I'm joined today by Tristin Robinson. Welcome, Tristin, to the podcast. Glad to have you today.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so excited for this conversation today as we think about this thought of living our life right now for the glory of God, using the resources, the gifts, the personality God has given us to make sure the people around us see Him through our life. And so as we begin the podcast today, though, Tristin, we always have a surprise question at the very beginning. What would you do right now if time, space, money, all of that was not an issue? What would you do right now?
I think I would go back to Germany because our family used to live there because my dad's in the military.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't get to, see everything because I was super young.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be nice to go back and see everything that where I used to live.
So how long did y'all live in Germany?
I think my parents and my older sister, they lived there for 3 years. Well, 4 years and 3 years without me.
Okay.
And then I lived there, the first year of my life.
Were you born there?
I was not. My mom she flew to Florida because my dad was in Afghanistan at the time.
Okay.
So she wanted to be around people
Family.
that she knew.
Gotcha. So you're born in the States, but I guess went back to Germany pretty quick after that. So I've never been to Germany, don't know anything about Germany, but that would be a fun place to visit. I like to travel as well. So you would take off to Germany, see all that stuff as you were. And did you leave around 1 year? Is that what you said? You were 1 year old? Okay. That's cool. Well, let's move now to our other questions that I sent you. They're not surprises. Mm-hmm. Some people like the surprise, some people don't. And I don't think you like surprises, do you?
No, I definitely
don't.
Not
at all. I love it. So here we go. First question on the podcast today. What is God teaching you right now, Tristin?
I think God right now is teaching me how to be patient with not just myself, but with other people and with Him. Because sometimes I think I try to rush into everything because I feel like I should already know everything that's happening, like how I like to know the questions I'm going to be asked. I just like to know what I'm doing, and I like to have a plan. And sometimes you're not going to know that whenever you're going through certain stages in life. So I just need to be patient and wait back and let Him do His work for me.
All right. So is it harder for you to be patient with yourself or be patient or with what's going on for you, or is it harder to be patient with other people?
I think for me, it's easier to be patient with other people than it is for myself, just because, I don't know, a lot of times I just like to rush myself into different things.
Yeah.
So it's just harder for me to be patient with myself.
It's something really important for us all to just process and know that God is at work in the details. And if we're not being patient in that, the question there is, do we trust that statement that He's at work in the details? And so that's a huge challenge today for us, Tristin, to all to think about being patient with others, but specifically being patient and doing the things that God is calling you to do in the moment and right now for, again, His glory. So that's a great answer, great challenge for us all today, Tristin. Second question today on the podcast, how can God use your generation right now?
I think intentionality. We just need to learn how to be more intentional with our time and with our actions. I know personally I just like to be surface level, and I don't go deeper into different relationships, and I just really think that we can be more intentional, and we can be that on social media or in person. You can intentionally reach out to other people, and you can make those relationships.
So what is something, Tristin, because I think a lot of people would struggle with intentionality and the struggle there with relationships. And it's easy. I think social media in a lot of ways has let it become easy for us to just be surface level with people. So what is something practically that's helped you be more intentional when it comes to relationships?
I think the first thing is you just have to make yourself realize that you're not being intentional in the first place. I know we've been talking about being intentional in our connection groups like a lot, and I think that is just an eye opener because you don't realize that you're not being intentional until it's being pointed out. And I think you just need to be more intentional by being genuine with your questions and how you're acting around people. And if you're being genuine, then you can really be intentional.
I love that word genuine because another thing that social media has done is really brought the term fake and the people portraying that everything's good and not really being genuine. I love that thought of being genuine with people because I think at the core of that brings intentionality. If we know, that certain things are going on or we're asking questions to really get to know people, it helps us to really see people where they are and help meet maybe the needs that they have in that moment. So another great answer there, Tristin. Now, you're a softball player, so you're 2 for 2 here.
Yes.
That's good batting average right now, batting 1,000 on these questions. Let's move to the third one as we wrap up today. What is one current event of great interest to you right now?
I don't know if you guys are going to count this as being super current, but but the March Madness, the deal with all the equipment differences between the female
and the male teams, So
Yeah.
what was it about that was interesting to you?
I just think it's, how do you put it? I don't know. I just think it's interesting how people still don't think that females can need as much athletic attention as males do.
Yeah.
And I think the NCAA really showed how they feel about their female sports compared to their male sports because of what they were doing in the NCAA tournament.
Right.
And I think that it's a great thing that those female athletes brought it to the media to show how they're being treated.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us would never even known that or don't know kind of some of those details that come to play, obviously, in that. And it did shed light for people in general. And now that's the thing that social media has brought to the table as well, the ability for stuff like that to be seen and for us all to realize that just how real the difference of people treating each other is in our world today. And, as the church, it's a challenge for us to grasp and understand that we have the opportunity to lead the way and seeing people the way the Lord sees people and loving them where they are and loving them in the moment that God gives us to love them and, seeing them through his eyes as he made them male and female and that, he made them in his image, both in his image, not just male in his image or not just female in his image. He made them both in his image and they're both beautiful in that moment for a plan and purpose. And so that's a great, great challenge because, again, it's something that we all need to think about that. Now, when you see something, let's wrap up with this. When you see something like that in media, how do you respond? How do you deal with that? Because it's not something that you can tangibly really do something necessarily about, but what can you do or how do you handle that?
I think we need to just, as a whole, we need to shine more light onto it.
Yeah.
And talking about this also makes me think about how different high schools, they do show more attention to male sports than they do female sports just because it's always been like a male thing to do.
Right.
Which I think because the NCAA had that happen, it makes everyone else realize how much it is happening in their own lives. And I think if we all do something to make a change in our own high school or club or whatever it is that you're in, you can make those big steps by doing the small steps first. Yeah,
that's really good. Make those steps by doing the small steps first. And all of us can take a small step. All of us have a platform. to some sort of degree with some sort of people as far as leadership goes, and we can shine a light where we need to shine a light. And that's just a really big, I think, statement for us to grasp as we wrap up today. Shine a light where you can shine a light, and do that for the glory of God and through the truth of His Word, and allow that to guide the lights that you shine. So, Tristin, 3 for 3, batting 1,000 on the podcast today. Thanks for doing this. You've done a great job.
Thank you. I'm glad I got to come.
Yeah, same here. And we want to say thank you for all of you watching or listening today to the podcast. Love for you to like, share, and subscribe. And we would encourage you, as we've said, and Tristin helped us understand this thought, to shine a light where we can do that for the glory of God.